Greetings, everyone around the world. I'm Luke Bryan Smith, and welcome to Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved. Hope everybody's doing well. Wait, I believe everybody's doing well. I have faith everybody's doing well. Everything is unfolding perfectly, even if you can't see it right now. I am excited yet again today. I have an extraordinary guest all the way from Germany that lives in Germany right now. And I was just telling him prior to this segment how amazing this is that I'm able to speak with him all the way in Germany, and I'm here in the US. Amazing. His name is Alex Spaet. And before I let him talk to you, I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. Now, Alex Spaet was born in Russia, moved to Germany, and he was bullied till the end of high school. Learned music instruments and performance since he was a kid. He lived in Tokyo for 3 years and has been 3 times on Japanese TV. Wow. Learned 7 languages, fluent in 4. Got suicidal after moving back to Germany on an internship in, what is this? Is this Scotland?
Scotland.
Yes. Okay. Because of its started of personal development journey, learned at many Russian, English, and Japanese. He learned from many Russian, English, and Japanese mentors and coaches. He got back to spirituality and started veganism as well as a healthy lifestyle. He's currently providing coaching using NLP and other techniques, providing daily content on social media. Amazing. You have quite a story here. And I know I had to ask you to sum it up a bit because you have so many. Your original version, we'll talk more about that, but let's just get right into it. So you were born in Russia, moved to Germany, and like a lot of us, I was also bullied early on. I was this scrawny man, so scrawny boy. So, and I moved around a lot. So I didn't have any, it was hard for me to connect with people because when I was young. So yeah, that happened to me too. So let's start from there. What would you say to people that have went through that experience too? And what did that teach you? And how did you evolve from those experiences?
I believe in my case, it was maybe a little bit different because basically I was born between 2 states, between Russian and I have a Russian mother and a German father.
Right.
And as you might know, World War II, they were actually enemies.
Oh, yes. Exactly.
Yeah, this is
why the history.
The history. This is why I actually was bullied. One of those history aspects, I was bullied in Russia. I was told I'm a freaking Nazi.
Oh, wow. I understand.
In the nursery school already.
Right.
So it was for me, like, everyone's told me, hey, you're pretty good in the nursery school, you're freaking Nazi. Like, my whole world just turned upside down when I was listening to those things.
Right.
And on the flip side, in Germany, because I was Russian.
Right. And that had to be hard, especially being that young to get through that. But you were able to use that to propel yourself to now that you've learned instruments, languages, NLP. I mean, okay, let's start with the musical instruments. What musical instruments do you play and how did you get into
them? Currently I don't play anything, but back in the days I used to play, since I was 3, I started to play violin.
Oh, wonderful, beautiful instrument.
Yeah,
wow.
And we have like, it called solfeggio. It is in Italian. It is like where you learn the music grammar. And I also had this kind of thing. Then in Germany, I learned some piano, because basically in Russia, when you learn like an instrument, you also have to learn another, also piano. Piano was always a must.
Right.
So I also learned piano. I did it like for 10 years, something like that. Also violin like for 14 years maybe. Then I played also guitar, more like this flamenco, Spanish flamenco.
Yes, beautiful.
Yeah, I also played like flamenco. I also played in a school band, by the way.
Wow. I just love instruments, and
Back
I
in middle
love
school.
people who learn instruments. There's a certain type of intellect that develops from learning instruments and things of that nature. I currently, my daughter is learning the piano from a teacher from the Ukraine. That's where she's from.
Cool.
Yeah, and she's brilliant. Her name is Alina, and yeah, she's from the Ukraine, and she plays the violin as well and the piano, and I don't know what else she plays, but she's brilliant, and she's teaching my daughter how to play the piano very well.
Yeah, it's amazing, especially when it comes to spiritual development. Music is really good because you are intervening not just with your mind, but also with your hands. And when you do something with your hands, you're creating something new, which never have been there. And because of this novelty that you are providing through instruments, you are basically involving yourself more and growing more spiritually than when you just listen to music or when you just do other things. But really, music is really one of those keys that you can use towards spiritual growth, for sure.
Yes, I love music. I love listening to classic music too. Especially when I'm reading, I listen to like Beethoven and Sebastian Bach and Vivaldi and all that. I love those.
Oh, Vivaldi, yeah.
Yes.
Violin.
I listen to him. How did you end up going to Japan, and how did you end up Tokyo, and how'd you end up on TV there?
Basically in the middle school, I used to, basically we had English. It's a normal subject. It was a must from it's like with the 5th grade. Like, because we have the normal schools, basically is a junior high has like just 4 grades, and the middle school has from the 5th till the 10th grades, till the 10th grade. And I was in middle school, and like at the 8th grade, I believe, I started off like thinking like, hey, I need some more passion, I need some more things. And then we had a guy who has a family actually in Tokyo. Yes, a Japanese. He is half Japanese, half German. And I was more inspired, like, okay, let's like check out the Japanese culture. And then I checked out, we had like the anime stuff. Maybe you had also in the US. I watched it as a kid, but I thought like anime is a little bit too childish. So I started off, instead of watching Japanese shows, Japanese comedy shows, Japanese dramas. Then also Japan. I really immersed myself in Japanese, basically. If you watch myself back in the days, I had always I had a car when I went to high school. Basically, not in middle school, but in high school, I had a car, and I always had Japanese music there. When I went home, I watched just Japanese films and stuff like that. And in school breaks, I always had a Japanese novel or something that I just read Japanese, or just run through all this vocabulary stuff just every single day, like for 10 years ish. And people just, how are you doing it? I just persistency.
Wow, you really connected with the Japanese culture.
Because I felt like, okay, like the samurais, I mean, what's US people know, like the samurais or the ninjas, everyone knows them. And I thought it was really cool. And but I was more connected more on a deeper level because I like more the language also, because you have really this linguistic stuff. You have really many kinds of to express yourself. You have this states of being polite, being really polite, and be really non-polite.
Right. That's
kind of interesting.
So
the way of thinking.
You lived there for how many years?
For 3 years.
3 years. And you learned the language?
yeah, basically, I learned the language. I learned the language since from when I was 16. I started to learn the language by myself.
Wow, you
My mother bought me a
self-taught.
book. Yeah,
Wow.
self-taught. My mother bought me a book. I have, maybe I have it still here, and I believe in the first. I was really passionate about it, and I just, okay, come on, let's do it. And then after like maybe after 2 weeks, I learned the first two alphabets because Japanese has three.
Right.
So that's okay. It's
Wow, that's
getting
amazing.
more technique.
So that is amazing. And again, how did you end up on the television over there?
On the television, I was in Japan. I was there in a school, in a language school, because I wanted to improve more on my Japanese. When I went to Japan, I already was like learning for the highest level, for the academic level in
Right.
Japanese. So when I was in Japan, everyone said like, okay, when we cover your face and you will just speak in Japanese, nobody will notice that you are non-Japanese.
Okay. Right. That is
Because
that
I
is
taught
crazy.
myself really many things, like the exact pronunciation without any accent speaking or and stuff like that, or things like also this Japanese kind of reaction towards things, and because they're different than the West one.
Right.
I taught myself the whole mindset, how it is. So when I went to Japan, I knew where I go. I wasn't there like, so I had a culture shock. Many when come to Japan, they have a really big culture shock, like, hey, this is different, this is different effort. Okay, this is how it looks like. This is how it looks like. I knew what it is.
Right.
But for myself, it was just moment. Not really, oh,
Yes.
it's really something different. But for me, okay, I see.
Wow. So you end up studying a total of 7 different languages and you master.
Yeah.
Wow. How did that happen?
Basically, in Germany, we have a system when you go to the middle school.
Right.
Oh, I have. Sorry, I haven't answered you. How I came to Japanese TV.
TV. That's right. Okay. Sorry, I didn't let you finish.
Sorry.
My apologies.
Really quick. So basically, in Japan, I was in a language school, and then there was like sometimes they organize like parties. And there was a party with an organization of students who organized party every single week. And I ended up being one of the organizers there. And we organized with 50 people around, like for every single week, 400 people in Shinjuku. It's like really where the biggest train station in the world is, where the most people are. Really there, we organized for every single week. We made parties for 100 people who are foreigners mixed with Japanese students. And there we had some people who have friends in the TV industry. And I had some friends in the TV industry because in Japan, we have like, there are some universities who are connected, like Waseda, they are connected to the Japanese entertainment. It's maybe you don't know, but the Japanese entertainment industry is the second in the world after the American one.
Oh, wow.
So it's really huge. It's really huge.
Wow, the media is really,
and the media is really huge there. And I end up, because I hadn't a girlfriend back in the days, and they had like they made like a show for teaching foreigners how to hit up on the how to hit on a Japanese girl.
Oh, okay. How to get a date with a Japanese girl?
Yeah, how to get a good date with a Japanese girl, and we went then. We had like some of shootings there, and one shooting was also I end up being in the TV studio, and really in this big, huge TV studio. We had at Tokyo's many of them, but one of the biggest one, TBS.
Oh wow!
Tokyo Broadcast something.
Yes,
it's really huge one, Nakasaka, and and they interviewed me. We made we're like a teachers there, and they are showing us how to actually get a date with a Japanese girl, and how to interact with them, how to date a Japanese girl. And they showing us they were like also Japanese girl with who we also kind of trained his techniques.
Right.
It was kind of cringy, but it was fun. It was really fun. And
Wow,
afterwards,
that's
I end up because
amazing
I had
experience.
also in I also was scouted by a Japanese company, entertainment company, who has taught me like how to act and stuff like that. And I had a friend there who's a DJ. And she was above me, and she's a DJ. She's still currently, I believe she was last year, she was the #2 DJ in the world.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, from women, DJ.
For women. Yes.
Yeah, for women, is number 2. And she made like, she just started off DJing. It was in this club, and because I know her, I had like 50% off in the entrance, so I could just, every time when she's playing, I can just go there and just hang out. And I
Wow.
end up
Amazing.
to actually to meeting there, like hitting there on a girl, and it wasn't not so good. We had some dates, but we wasn't like, in Japan, you have to really confess. If you're into someone, you have to confess. The confession is really important part
Wow.
in Japanese culture. You have to really say, would you go off with me? And then like this one.
Oh, wow.
Maybe you have seen it somewhere. There's a really culture of confession. Otherwise, you don't know if your girlfriend or boyfriend. You have to confess.
That is,
And I end up to confess to her. But I had to move back to Germany because of circumstances. I have already told you, and a big explanation.
wow.
Because of money, basically.
Yes.
And this Japanese show just hit me every time up, say, do you have some content, stuff like that? Okay, I just hit on a girl, and maybe, okay, they say, okay, can we kind of make a hidden camera for your date and see your date like from a hidden camera? And they did it, actually.
Wow, that's amazing. They did that. You did that?
Yeah, we did it. Yeah,
that's how you got on TV.
Yeah, we got like this, this kind of like bouldering is when you climb out like this thing, like this.
Yes, I know.
This climbing stuff.
The wall, yeah.
Yeah, it was wall climbing. Yeah, she was onto wall climbing, myself too, back in the days, and we went on a date wall climbing, and then but before I was before the arrangement, we arranged like a meeting with the camera team, like an hour before, and we arranged it, where to go, where I should confess, where so the cameraman can hide in the bush and stuff like that. It was really good.
Did she know the camera was there?
No.
Oh, wow.
It was a surprise for her, but she actually turned me down.
Wow. So yeah.
But it wasn't that hard because it was like really, really soft turning down, so I wasn't really hurt.
Right.
But on the flip side, I was so excited that this camera stuff is there.
Right.
And I was more happy that she did actually exact the movements that the cameraman has told me.
Right.
And she did actually exactly what was planned. So the movie turned out really great.
Wow.
Exactly how it was planned. And I was more about this rather than being turned down.
Yes.
I know it sounds awkward.
No, I understand. That was exciting.
That was really exciting, yeah.
So
and the third time I was on another thing is also in Japan. By the way, when you come to Japan, especially in the biggest airports where the most foreigners came, they have a show it comes why the heck you are in Japan, basically, why you get to Japan, and they're just interviewing foreigners, and also was there interviewed as well. This was my third time.
Oh, wow. So you end up being on there twice. So
yeah, three times actually. 3 times.
Oh, 3 times.
3 times or 4 times.
That's amazing, because not everybody can travel to another country and then end up being on their television station. So that was
not really
a great experience for you. You seem to be the type of person that can put yourself in the right positions to be noticed. That's great. So how did you end up coming about, like I said prior, studying 7 different languages?
Yeah, basically. Russian is my mother tongue. German, I have to learn.
Right.
English, Of course, it's essential. It's essential here in German schools, and basically, we have a school system here in Germany where you have 3 different middle schools,
Right.
and like the lowest one, you just learn English. The middle one, you have to add a second language,
Right.
additionally to English. You can back in the days, you could choose from Latin, Spanish, or French.
Wow.
And in a highest middle school, you can additionally, if you want to, you can choose a third one.
Wow. So they really push. That's amazing. The education, where is
Yeah,
it in Germany? Really push learning different languages.
Yeah, they push really. Yeah, they are currently also. We have some high schools currently who also in my town who are learning Japanese and some even Chinese. So we have currently also some nursery schools who are also learning Chinese and English from the get-go.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, because here in the US and America, they don't push that like that. They don't push that the languages like that. You're lucky if someone wants to just learn one other language on your own, but I think that's brilliant. So you currently are frequent in 4 languages, you say?
Yeah, I'm fluent in 4.
Yeah.
Basically now English, German, Russian, and Japanese.
Wow. What can you tell me? I'm interested, if you don't mind. What can you tell me in Japanese?
What do you want to have? Basically, what do you want to have translated? I can just do it really quick.
How do you say I'm thankful for being here?
I'm thankful for being here. Ooh. Do you want to have it more polite or
Yes.
more polite? ここにいるのが感謝しています。
Wow. I won't remember that, but
okay.
Thank you for
here, ni, in, いる no, は 感謝しています。
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. I
Kansha
know it now.
means gratitude.
Gotcha.
Kansha means gratitude.
Kansha means gratitude. Wow. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alex, for sharing that with me. That's amazing. So, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Basically of the school, I haven't told it till the end. Basically, we have the school and I went like from the lowest to the highest. So I had to learn to French and Spanish. And in Japan, I end up learning Chinese. Yeah.
Right.
In Japanese, I learned Chinese.
That is amazing. That's truly amazing. I mean, it's probably just my mindset. I would think it would be difficult just to learn one other language, but for you to be able to distinguish and not get mixed up on 4 different languages is amazing. Now, is Russian a lot different from the German language, or do they have some similarities, or are they completely different?
There are some similarities when it comes to not the grammar, because in basically, maybe Spanish or French, you have also in German 3 articles.
Right.
In Russian, you have no articles. In English, you have just one, the or a.
Yeah. Wow.
In Russian, you have no articles at all, but you have a lot of fluctuations where you have to adjust towards a form, towards a cause. It's a little bit different. It's more harder, I believe, than the German language. Even the German language, I'm currently teaching some Japanese people in a Japanese. There's a Japanese group, and I just do some live streams teaching some Japanese people German. And I recognize the German is also kind of convoluted when it comes to the grammar.
Wow, that's amazing.
But it's different.
I wanted to ask you, because maybe you can encourage other people, but you mentioned that you once felt like suicide. Now, how did you come to that, and how did you overcome that?
Whew, suicidal. Yeah.
If you
It was
don't mind. I only
no
brought
problems,
it
no
up
problem.
because
No, I'm pretty open.
you wrote it here. That's why. Otherwise, I won't talk about it. But
No worries.
I figured you don't mind.
No worries. No,
Okay.
no. I can be as much as vulnerable that I can be. So I'm always vulnerable as I can be. So because I feel like one of my mentors says, your mess is your message.
Right. That is your message. Right.
Yeah.
And you can help other people, because there's lots of people that have once felt that way or maybe feeling that way right now. So I want to know how, what caused you to feel that way, and how did you overcome that?
In my case, it was, I went back to Germany because I haven't that good marks back then in the high school, in German high school.
Right.
I couldn't apply to any job. I applied to thousands of jobs, basically, had thousands of job interviews. Some interviews says, so many languages, you have to go to an international, company, enterprise.
Right.
And they said, like, in an international enterprise, they said, like, no, your grades are too bad, so you have to go to like the local one. So they just basically just footballed me from one to another, and just went like here and there, and I end up having really no job. But like in Scotland, I went up on many projects. We have like people who are unemployed in Germany get on many social projects, and one of the projects was to go to Scotland and have their like an internship in Scotland. Right. And we had an internship in Scotland. In Scotland, I ended up being in an internship where I had to teach some refugees English.
Wow.
I mean, it sounds awkward. Like a guy from born in Russia, never lived in England, has to teach refugees English.
Wow. That's your calling, to help people.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I did it. Basically, it was okay. It was okay. But the thing is, I didn't find really this fulfillment. And one day I felt like, hey, right now, when the internship ends, I have to go back to Germany and everything just starts again. I have to go from one job interview to another, and just being just football from one to another. And what can I do different? And in my case, I just kind of had this kind of kaleidoscope in my head. I just see my whole life like till this point, and felt like, dude, it cannot go on. And I felt so suicidal, just like I hated myself that I did wrong choices back in Japan, and other choices. And I felt like I hate myself. I really wanted to kill myself right now.
Right.
And I felt like, okay, dude, okay, calm down. Let's do covenant with myself. Right. And I just did kind of the thing like, let's do covenant with myself right now. I give myself an hour or two, and I will do the best research on internet to find something that will help me go in different route than everyone is dictating me.
Right.
Because in Germany, you have like this road. Okay, you do like you have the normal path. Maybe you go to college, maybe not, but normally you end up doing an apprenticeship. In Germany, apprenticeship you do for everything. You do apprenticeship for being a banker, for everything, and it's like mostly like 3 years. If you don't have an apprenticeship, you have nothing basically. And I needed to have the apprenticeship, but nobody has taken me. And I say, okay, I accept that nobody will take me in Germany because I'm so different, and my profile and my knowledge of Japanese is just just really redundant for the German enterprises for the most one. And I say, okay. And I had also back in the days, I had also like this kind of, I was so much immersed in Japanese language that I was kind of also resentful toward German language.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I every time I was more like, when I spoke in German language, I felt like, well, I am forced to speak it. I don't want to speak it. I want to improve on my other languages, but German, okay, I was forced to do it because I'm living here. It's okay. But the thing is, I was more like forced into. I didn't like it. And I didn't like this mentality of people that are in many German enterprise, stuff like that. Many people are just, they are not growing. They're just really, they're just sufficient. They're just really
Limited.
limited. They're really
Yes.
limited. And they're
Right.
like content in where they are, in which place. They feel
Right.
like, okay, I'm this
No
place. I don't want to
expansion.
grow.
Yeah.
No expansion.
Yeah.
They don't really growing. In fact,
Right.
when I was in school, having good grades was like the most uncoolest thing you can have.
Wow.
Yeah. We
Wow.
had this kind of culture in my school, also in high school. Like, if you have good grades, dude, you have no real life. Like, what?
Yes.
I didn't
That is, yeah.
understood it at all, and
No,
it
I
was
get
really
it though.
devastating for myself. This kind of
Right.
German culture, and like really involved with German language, I had like this kind of association with it.
Right.
So I built kind of this resentment.
Right.
So no really many enterprise will take on me. And even I have made some internship here in Germany, I felt like I have to speak German. Ugh.
Wow.
Why cannot speak English instead of? I rather speak English or Russian or Japanese. Or Japanese was the best one, but okay, English, I'm okay with English. But why German?
Yes.
It
Again.
feels myself like I have to be really low key.
Right.
You know, I want to speak English so I can more communicate with the whole. I always had more this global view, not this kind of being like, okay, no, being German and just say I have to be in Germany and do what Germans do.
Right.
I didn't like it.
Right.
You know, and sometimes it triggers me. However, let's get back to the suicidal thing. Okay. And basically, in this really, I made a covenant with myself right now. When I find nothing, tomorrow I will jump in front of a freaking train. I don't care.
Wow.
I just did, I remember how my brain just worked like a freaking train. And I just typed in everything. And then I found one coach in the UK who has even worse stories than myself.
Right.
And he ended up being a coach, a life coach, and I took some of his courses. And from it, I also started to start off my YouTube channel. I started off all the social media I'm doing right now from this really point, because he challenged me to do some crazy stuff like running through the mall and screaming, "I'm stupid," or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
But it was really cool. It was out of the comfort zone. And some people were afraid, but I felt like, hey, I don't give a really about it. I don't really care about it. I just want to do it. And when some people see me, they forget me. They forget me after 2 days. And maybe some people have some, something to talk about me. And it's good.
Good. Yeah. It in a way liberated you to do something like that. I can understand that, because I'm a person that's really open to just all kinds of ideas. That does not shock me at all. I can see how that would be invigorating and liberating to do something like that.
Yeah.
And it helped you. And I'm glad you found that coach.
Yeah. And we did like really crazy challenges, like in a mall, like talking about personal development, or like just filming, like doing Facebook lives, first in the group and then doing also live streams on your own Facebook,
right,
and stuff like that. Many people, but first we did just like small videos, like because many people are just really shy on getting on camera, like really watching themselves on camera. And back in the days, I also had this complex of myself. I never liked my face, basically. I hated my face.
It's unique. You're the only one that looks like you.
Yeah.
So that's special. That's special. It is.
Yeah, it's special.
You know who you remind me of? Phil Collins.
Phil Collins.
You ever heard of him?
Not really.
You have to look him up. He's a singer. Okay. He's one of my favorite. His name is Phil Collins.
Collins.
Phil Collins.
Collins.
Let me see if I can look him up now, but you remind me of him, and he's very big over here.
Cool.
So if you come over here, they might think you're him. You kind of remind me of him.
That would be cool.
Yeah, he's a little older than you, but this is him right here. He's a little older than you, but that's Phil Collins. He's very popular here. So look him up and listen to his music. Yeah, he's very.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah. So you don't have a bad face that you think you have. You have a face of celebrity. Yeah, here's him again.
Yeah, it's because
that's Phil Collins. You kind of remind me of him.
Yeah, sure.
Very popular, and the ladies over here love him.
Oh, amazing!
You can come over here. Hey, I'm Phil Collins' brother.
I'm pretty brother, bro. Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's cool. Yeah. Actually, first time I got really complimented really by a lady was in Japan.
Wow.
In Germany, I was just bullied.
Right. Yeah.
Because I had basically from the age of 13, I had pimples.
Yeah.
And I did everything against pimples. I had like this Mary Kay stuff, and I had so many cosmetic stuff.
I
used so many of things, so much money flow into it, but it hasn't really helped.
Right.
And also another complex was I had like I got a little bit more bolder.
Right. Yeah. Me too. That's what happened with me.
Yeah, you too. Yeah.
That's why I shave it all off.
It was already in the age of 13 for myself.
Wow.
It was really early, in an early age, and people say, "Hey, you look like 13 or 13." Like,
wow. Yeah. So there was a lot of adversities you had to go through, but you had to go through those for a reason, because now when you go through, when you have went through all of that, there's a lot of people that have not been through half of what you've been through. You're able to, through your story, to help them from being suicidal or help them come back. That's what I can see that. That's what your purpose is here for, whether you know it or not. Your purpose is to share everything that you've been through, and you're still here, and how you're still reaching for more. That story right there is going to enlighten and encourage a lot of people. So I really highly recommend that you continue to tell that story, because people that are really looking for answers, they're not going to laugh at that. The only ones that would laugh at that are those that have pain inside and don't know how to deal with it, so that they want to laugh at someone else to make them feel better. But
totally true.
Your story, what you've been
feeling.
through, all these adversities that you've been through, your extensive traveling, everything, what you had to face in your schools and just things like that. There's so many people that can relate to that, because there's so many people that are going through things and being bullied or feeling awkward or feeling like an outcast or a misfit, and they don't know where to turn. So just like you were able to find that coach you did on the internet, you don't understand how powerful your testimony is for other people to hear you. And I think that's something that you can tap more into to encourage other people, because you might say, hey, I'm still trying to get a grip on my own self. No, through that, even while you're working on yourself and working on your purpose, you can still help other people. And that's why it's no coincidence that you are here today. I believe the universe connect this so that your story can get out, and people can relate and know that there are people that from everywhere that go through things that you just don't know, and still keep going. So beautiful.
Yeah, I really appreciate those words. Really appreciate.
Yes.
Yeah, basically, going through all the stuff that I had, I learned really a lot. And back in the days, you could hurt me like this. You could bring me on the palm. You can make myself really rage like this. Back in middle
Yes.
school, I was really
Sensitive.
now it's close to impossible.
Right. Right. You
Because
have
I've
control
learned,
and power over yourself.
yeah, I have learned so much, especially through NLP and stuff like that. Like what kind of words are like, I mean, I have learned even some words that you are using, some words that we are using on a daily basis are actually words that are giving us certain diseases. Some people don't know it, but
Yes,
it's
that's
true.
true. I believe it.
It's true.
Yes, words are powerful.
Yeah.
Words are very powerful.
It's so
They're
powerful.
more powerful than what people know.
Yeah. Words are so powerful. And when I have dug really deeper inside, I feel like checked out how something works. When for example, someone of my of some friends of mine had like what does he had? He had like he had like a headache, and he should just say, I have headache, I have headache, I have headache, and it just gets a migraine, right? Migraine. It gets more and more and more. And I said, okay, come on, let's just switch the mindset. I said, I feel healthy. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. And like after 30 minutes, it was gone. And he said, how did you done it? I say,
yes,
it is just a wording.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Words.
Just a program.
That's why it's very important that you are aware of the words you say, not only say, but listen to, because it goes into your subconscious mind and it creates things, like you said, thoughts and diseases. It manifests a lot of things. It's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. And one of really cool thing is also what we learned like last year with my whole family, like last year, I believe even before, like 2 years ago, we learned it's called like personal angel. Maybe you've heard it. It is like you can talk to, it is like an etheric being that you can talk towards. Maybe you heard about, have you heard about this one?
Oh, okay. Michael Newton, Destiny of Souls. Okay.
Have you heard about him?
No, but now I have, and I'm going to look it up now. So what? Tell me more.
He has like an institute in the US, who he is teaching. It calls regression hypnosis.
Okay.
It is where you go into hypnosis. It's like a meditation state. It's not really like this one thing, but it's more like meditation, where you really tap into your past lives.
Right.
You can
tap into your past lives. Yes, yes. I'm currently working. I understand that, and not to take any from what you're saying. I want you to continue, but yeah, I understand that because I'm currently working with a hypnotherapist from Australia. That's what we're doing, tapping into past lives and things like that. So go ahead.
Yeah, you can tap into past lives. You can, or I mean, there are progressions or regressions, right? Progression is when you go to your future self. Regression is when you go to your past self or past lives, or the moment you were in the womb, even. Right. Some people got even into past lives, like they are telling the past lives where you used to be a stone. Yes.
Yeah, or an animal or something else.
Yeah, sure. Or like a flower. And from this one, there's a Russian teacher who I'm working with, who have translated a book. Who was translating a book with other translators from Russian to English. It's not out yet, but it will be out. It's really good because it's NLP and this kind of thing with past lives, and also about things like I did voluntarily, by the way, and this translation. And it was also about like talking to your angel and really seeing in the past life your angels, your guardian angels, and talk with them. And then having like advisors, like in this kind of state of meditation, in this kind of trance state, you are having this kind of advisors. And this cool thing is about it, really practical thing is, when you talk to this kind of angel and say, I want to have this one or this one, you can actually get it. Because the more you are talking to this guardian angels, the more you can get kind of those things that you want to. How does it work, basically? I mean, you can go to meditative state and get the angel and just talk to him,
Right.
or go through
Meditative
the
state, yes.
full process. Yeah.
Right.
What is really cool is like my aunt, who is she's living in the UK, and she has a husband who is a doctor, and and doctors are not many doctors are that spiritual, let me say so, right? And he is
Right.
not on the side of spiritualism, and he said, no, man, it's just bullshit. And just last time, she was like searching for his purse, and he said, okay, I want to search my purse. I cannot find my purse. I cannot find my purse. And then my aunt just stand in the garage and said, like, okay, now it's time to my guardian angel. I want to have the purse. Right, I want to. Please give me back the purse of my husband. And then,
Right.
like, after 5 minutes, boom,
Found it.
yeah, he found
Right.
it.
That's
just found it.
amazing. So I'm going to
Or
look
my
up that
mom.
book. And what's the name of that book again?
It's called Key to All Doors. It's not right out now, but I will tell you maybe maybe on Messenger, and then you can also write it down in the description when it's out. It's not my
Right.
book. I was just translating it.
No, that's good. I know it's not your book, but yeah, that's good that you're suggesting that, and that can help people.
Yep.
And I love reading, so I'm going to look it up myself.
It's
I
a really,
love
really
different
good book.
reading.
It will help a lot of people because
Expanding my mind, yeah, and reading different things that maybe
Yep.
not be familiar with to me right
Yep.
now, but
Yep.
it's still going to plant some seeds, and I can learn. That's
Certainly.
amazing. So how can people get a hold of you or find your show or anything like that? I'm going to put it in the description, but I want to just verbally say it now. How do they
basically
find it?
Of course you can email me. I have give you the email also. You can email me.
Right.
But I more reply towards when people approach me on Facebook or something like that, because I feel like email, I get a lot of emails, many spam mails. So when you talk like, okay, I have like on Facebook, I've seen you on the show, then I will be more responsive. Because many people are actually trying to, sell me currently like Bitcoin and stuff like that.
Right. Yes, I receive a lot of that as well.
Yeah, I received so many of those. So if you just want to have in touch with me, because it is just really a small part of thing that I have just told you. It is so much more that I've learned, and so much more I have learned. And so much more I have learned for some Russian gurus, which information is right now not available in English.
Right.
And I can share it with you. And I'm also sharing some of those things that are not copyright strike. I'm also sharing those right now also on my platforms. You can see it on my TikTok. My TikTok, you have everything.
Right.
My TikTok, you can find everything. You can find myself also on Facebook. YouTube is also, I'm also putting stuff on YouTube. And I'm doing also YouTube and Facebook lives quite every single day.
Yes. So, yeah, I just want to encourage you to reach out to me, too. I would like to, if you want to have a conversation with me on your platform or make anything or whatever you'd like to talk to, I'm available for you. So just let me know.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
It would be great. Yeah. To also have maybe interview you.
Yes, you can interview me, or we can have a conversation on a certain subject, whatever you would like to talk about.
Sure.
I'm another key and whatever factor for you to factor into your thing. So you have a friend now here in the US that we can talk. And if you just want to just talk, or you want to share something or whatever, just reach out to me. You know how to.
Yeah, sure, I will.
Absolutely. And I just want to thank you because we're coming up to the end close of this show. I want to thank you for being on this show, and I look forward to talking to you soon. And I will definitely message you when I upload this to YouTube, which will be in the next week or two. I will upload it and put everything in the description. And I just want to thank you, Alex, for being here today, for sharing your time and taking time out of your schedule to spend with me, and your amazing journey and so many things. And just, man, you have incredible energy and insight. You have so many things I can tell more to share, just so much in there because of all these places that you've been and all these incredible experiences you've had. And I look forward, and hopefully I can have you in the future again on this show. So I thank you very much, and I will see you soon. And thank you everyone for watching. I know you will enjoy this as much as I have. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, everybody. Love you. See you soon.